Welcome back, guys. Matt King Corduroy here, bringing you a typewriter review. This is a 1965 Royal Empress. It is a, well, frankly, quite huge standard typewriter. This thing works great. However, they don't seem to be very desirable, which is odd, because I find all these curves very, aesthetically pleasing. But I guess I could understand why someone might not want this in their collection, because honestly, 99% of this case seems to be aesthetic bulk. You could probably trim this thing down, and it is quite large. You could trim this thing down probably to about the size of a KMM for the amount of mechanism that's in this thing. I don't understand why it has all this in the back and like this much added to the sides. It is absolutely massive. So anyway, though, let's get on with the features and what actually makes up the meat of this thing. Alright, so we've moved the camera, zoomed it up on the keyboard here. This is the layout for the Royal Empress. It's quite a standard layout. All the things you'd expect to see: ribbon, color selector, tab set for the tab, which is on the opposite side of what we'd find on a modern keyboard. Same with the backspace, opposite side of what we'd expect to see, but pretty standard for typewriters and standards. I do prefer a lot of Royals because a bunch of them have them on this side, but I think my QDL actually has it on that side, so, never mind. This machine, however, has quite a light touch. It's nice, but the one thing I don't like about it is this space bar. Look at how thin that thing is. It'd be fine if you were... No, even then it's a bit thin. Like, my thumb is... Like, I could miss that easily, and I find that I do. I end up missing it half the time. What they should have done is made it that thick and just cut out this front part. Alright, moving along to the carriage here, we can review a couple of mechanisms. We have the magic margins here, which work just like on any other typewriter. You pull them forward to set them where you want to go, and to clear them, you just release the carriage with this button here, and pull them, and it'll clear everything, because it's just a mechanical system in the back here, a rail, just like all the other Royal typewriters, like a KMM and the rest. This actually flips up so you can have access to that rail. But there really isn't anything too out of the ordinary here. You have your card holders, which fold up on either side. Paper guides, just right in the front there. Paper guide with rollers at the top. It actually goes forward, so when you go to roll the page, you don't have to fold it up. You can just go like that, which is actually pretty handy. You have another release on this side. So, if you want to use your left hand instead, I don't know why you would, that's the plate and release. That is also plate and release. And this is your spacing set. So you have options of 1, 2, and 3 spaces to move it along. Obviously, works the same as every other typewriter. There really isn't too much special about this machine to make it set out other than its aesthetics. Now, in order to access the ribbons for this thing, you got to take off this. This whole top part is a ribbon cover, and it's freaking massive, chunky. Like most Royals, it just uses the pin in rubber grommet type system. And there you go. You have access to the inside. It uses these larger spools like you would have found on the early electrics from the time period, from the late 50s and early 60s. And your touch controls are also located right here. You have between 1 and 6. I like to type with a light touch, so personally I like to keep it on 1. Even then, it's not really that light of a light touch. Now this over here is your direction change, if you wanted to do that, but it should automatically do it also. You shouldn't really have to mess with that. It's all pretty standard, pretty automatic. Not much special about this machine. As I said before, it's basically a really bulky KMM. Come on. There you go. Boom. But you know what? It's built like a tank, and you gotta respect that. Also, I almost forgot to mention here, this machine, like a lot of standards, but it's still a good thing. This machine has a basket shift. And there you go. It's not a very light one, I must say. It's not exactly light, and I don't like the spacing here between this. Look at that massive space. Oh, my spring is dead. I forgot about that. Oh, I forgot about that completely. Alrighty, and last but not least, what you've probably been waiting for, the typing sample. Now, as I've said, nothing too special about this machine. It doesn't have a paper injector or anything, or you can pull it forward like that, like I said before. But it does have a pretty good typing action. Like I said, I prefer my Royal QDL, but this is a pretty feature-rich machine, and it is very solid. I mean, this is a business machine. You're going to be doing serious work with this. In fact, it comes with an elite font, so you have a very, very, very tiny font, which is good if you're filling out forms and things like that, because I know on things like an Olivetti and other machines with larger CPI fonts, you might run out of room. Trust me, I've done this before. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead. There we go. And because of my typing, I did that. But that really has nothing to do with the machine. That's just me being a crappy typist. If I was sitting down, I wouldn't have any typing errors. Or at least that's the story I'm going with. So, oops. Backspace. Come on. Oh no. So yeah, that is the Royal Empress from 1965. It's a fine machine. Nice small font. It types well. Works well. You know, it's loaded with features, like I said, but really too big for what it is. It's massive. And really, it has no benefit over a machine like my QDL, which is about that big, or my or a Royal KMM, which I've had in the past, which are again like this big and like that big. So yeah, it's just massive. It's a product of the time. It's 60s as hell. It's atomic futuristic. It's very curvy, so you got that kind of like, I don't know, almost feminine kind of looks. But I don't know. I don't like it that much. So yeah, I'm Mad King Corduroy. Hopefully you enjoyed this review. Go on and get one if you want one. They're very, very cheap, and they work well, you know? They're just not loved by the general populace because of the reasons I've listed. Or at least that is the nearest reason I can figure. So yeah, like and subscribe. Hope you enjoyed this, and hopefully there will be more to come. I know at least there will be a 1959 Olympia SG1 review coming in the very near future because that's being sold next. So yeah, bye!